Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to the CoffeeCast Amateur Attack Edition. But this time I'm not pulling in two nooblets from the audience. This time I'm actually hailing in from Reddit Cast It, because it's something that I've always wanted to do, but have really just never gotten around to do it. And since I really couldn't find any good pro replays to do, I decided, why not just kind of jump in here. Spawning on the top right hand side here on Neo Planet S, he's going to be our red Zerg player Jayu, once again in that 2 o'clock position. Spawning on the bottom left hand side as our blue Terran player, we're going to be having a ViperXK. Now, a quick disclaimer that I've been doing at my videos recently, I have not casted in quite some time. My metagame is a little bit behind. I apologize if I screw something up a little bit. And leave a comment below, constructive. I always like to make sure constructive criticism is always appreciated. Leave a comment below, and I will do my best to get it fixed up in the future here. So Terran versus Zerg. I mean, just like every other matchup, it's pretty versatile in the opening, especially in Heart of the Swarm, where, you know, both races have a little bit more aggressive potential. Obviously, that Burrow being a Tier 1 tech rather than a Tier 2 tech has changed Zerg play a little bit, allowing the Zergs to be a little bit more aggressive with roaches in the early game. Terrans like to open up Reapers, just get a little bit extra scouting off earlier, but holy, things are kind of unchanged. Terrans still like to go for that one barracks, one factory, and start pumping out Hellions to get a little bit of scouting, a little bit of harassment down. Or if you are a ViperXK, you just want to go straight on for the command center, dropping down the 15cc, pretty much the most macro build that you can possibly do as a Terran player here. Then dropping down that barracks, standard stuff, I suppose, as far as this build order goes here. Zerg player going to be dropping a super early hatchery himself here. I don't even know what that hatchery came down on. And for some reason, I don't know how I turned it on, but if you look at the top left here, I have an FPS and a GPU counter. I was hitting a bunch of hotkeys earlier on. I probably mucked that up somewhere in there. I apologize if anybody notices that during the cast and gets bugged by it. And of course, you're only going to notice it and get bugged by it now because I pointed out. Nonetheless, I digress. Both players look like they're going to be opening up pretty macro heavy here, so no early timing attacks from either of these guys, which, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's not going to be a Whirlwind-esque macro kind of game, though. A Whirlwind, for those of you who don't play at higher levels, I know I don't, I just hear people complain about it all the time, is a pretty Zerg-favored map, and the fact that, I mean, there's just so many bases you can take so early on. It's actually rather hard to be an aggressor in that situation. 4 Zerglings popping out, going to run completely past this SCV that was sitting over in Jayu's base. And the SCV in response is, well, just gonna kind of get a full scout off going on here. Metabolic boost is being researched. It got that perfect amount of gas as we see up there. Metabolic boost going to be researched, going to be out in about 100 seconds there. Zerglings streaming across the map, and they're going to get over here and see pretty much the same thing that he already knew was going on. Marine needs to get into that bunker, and everything will be pretty much a-okay now, especially with 2 Marines on the field, and that Marine, oh my goodness, Marine finally getting into the bunker, but this wall is wide open. These Zerglings not really going to be able to do all that much damage here, but they are going to be able to get in, get a little bit of scout off on, and here's what they're going to see. Once again, everything freaking standard. Barracks and reactor on the field, factory being built fairly close to that barracks as well. And I would like to point out, Viper actually had a pretty nice hold there, just pulling 2 SCVs. That was all he needed to help him hold off 2 SCVs and the 2 Marines out of the bunker, just to make sure he didn't, you know, do something a little bit silly, you know, like lose both the Marines and allow the Zerglings to be alive in the base for, you know, 30 or 40 seconds, because this barracks is currently building the reactor. He can't pump out anything else to kill those off with. Factory and barracks not going to be switching off, and unless something crazy happens, that is going to be double Hellion production there. I did see one game when it was like double Widow Mine production right off the bat, but it was just weird and didn't work. Let's just say I would not recommend that. Metabolic boost has now finished up. These Zerglings going to be once again streaming across the map, try to get a little bit more scouting information off. This is going to be kind of that critical point in time when the Terran needs to begin deciding vaguely where he wants his tech path to go. Is he going to be dropping... Excuse me, is he going to be dropping engineering bays? Is he going to be dropping additional factories, more barracks? A starport would be coming down around this time, or, in this case, a 3rd command center, which would just show Jayu that everything's going to be, once again, a super macro-heavy game here. It looks like he's just going to be sitting outside for the moment here, waiting for these Hellions to move out. There really are only 2 on the map right now. I think he's just waiting for that optimal number to be able to do a run-by with, and that number is right now. Is this front wall going to get up? Actually, he has enough Zerglings here to do quite a bit of damage, I feel. That wall going to get up right in time, but oh! This is not a finished wall. A couple of Zerglings are going to be able to get into the main base there. Going to be taking a lot of fire from those Hellions, though. But the fact of the matter is, once again, this was never about doing a ton of damage. I mean, granted, yes, it's going to be able to do a little bit, but that wasn't the main purpose. He's going to get a lot of scouting information off. If we look up at the production tab, he's just going to be able to drone off this information he's getting because he saw that third command center there. A very nice move by Jayu here. Viper actually fairly low on supply there. Definitely lost a few of his SCVs. Going to be losing maybe one more Hellion here as well. And no, actually going to keep all of those alive. But Zerglings, once again, is going to be harassing the ever-living heck out of this base. That command center is still not finished. In fact, that command center got stalled quite a bit. Those Zerglings more than paid for themselves, I think. And now a lot of SCVs, once again, going to be losing mine time because they have to transfer all the way back in here. Not to mention, once again, the number of SCVs killed, and 9 of them actually dying there. And that's going to be 49 to 28 harvesters now. And I keep toggling all sorts of stuff that I'm not supposed to be able to, or not supposed to be toggling. And I really don't know what my problem with that is. I would like to commend Jayu, by the way, on his map control right now. Just look at the beautiful amount of vision he currently has on the map. And now I'm hitting B instead of V. So we're going to go back about 10 to 15 seconds here and recap this hatchery being made, apparently. No, once again, I just want to look at the vision real fast for Jayu. And I swear none of my hotkeys are working right now. This is so weird. I just want to look at the vision for Jay here. Just look at the absolutely beautiful map spread he has right now. I would love to see maybe a little bit of creeping coming out of this Overlord. And maybe, you know, an Overlord or two here, which it looks like this Overlord might be moving into position for. But overall, really, he has, I mean, if there were any drops coming onto the field, he would be able to see them. We can see that these Hellions actually are going to get by because of this slight lack of vision right there. But for the most part, he can pretty much see everything that's going to be happening in the near future. Hellions are going to be popping up to that third base. They are going to be able to notice that hatchery. Lair has finished up, and Mutilus Tech now on the way. We're going to be going into Mutilus, and it looks like Zergling probably a transition into Ultralist because we are getting the melee attack upgrades for the Zerg rather than those missile attacks. Widowmine is going to be defending that wall, and nice run by the Hellions, going to be able to get into the natural expansion and fry some of those drones back, try to even that count up at least a little bit here, and that's going to put these players fairly on even footing considering the mule count. There now, even the Spire actually going to get scouted out there. The question is, did he click on it? Actually, I don't think it really matters because the Spire is the smallest Zerg building. Unless it was a spine crawler, which just really wouldn't be that likely. Oh my, 15 drones just spawning out. That is another massive round of drones there, and it looks like the pressure going to be continuing to be put on by Jayu here, who is spawning out quite a few roaches coming out across the map. I really don't think that those may be the best choice here. Granted, he does know his opponent is mainly on Hellion attack here. But behind this solid wall with only this fairly small number of roaches, I really can't see this doing all that much, especially with these two Widow Mines on the map here. And apparently some sort of observer is pinging the map at this point in time. Missile turret going to be going down. I believe he knows that there are roaches on the map right now. And the missile turret is a great addition here because you just never know when those roaches are going to be able to have that burrow tech on the field. Couple of more missile turrets going to be going up. And these are going to be fairly aggressive missile turrets as they're actually going to be in range of taking out those Overlords. Here we go. Zerg player Jayu going to be responding, tailing off Viper's missile turrets. Going to delay this just a little bit longer. This third command center. Pretty much, I mean, it was nice for the fact that he got that earlier so he could remac with those SCVs. But I really feel like at about this point in time, he should be able to take that third base. Hellions are going to be coming into the third base of Jayu, by the way. Not really going to get too much work there done. In fact, I don't know if they killed any drones. Actually, if he gets 2 more shots off, he can actually do quite a bit of drone line damage there. One drone going to be going down, but not able to get any more, as that queen is going to be able to pick him off before too much damage is sustained. But Mutalisks are now spawning out onto the map. I don't think Hive Tech is done quite yet. No, it is not. We're still on Lair. There we go. Hive just now starting. Those Ultralisks going to probably be on the way before too long. 2-2 upgrades now starting up for both of our players now. And those are a lot of Widow Mines actually unburrowed there. That is not a good position to be in. There we go, getting burrowed. Right now I'm going to be able to take out one roach of those. Needs to get these burrowed pretty much as quickly as he can, though, because he just doesn't really have that much map vision. For all he knows, there could be a massive army on the way right now. But there is not, because guess what? There are Mutalisks somewhere on the map. There we go. That is like the best feature in Heart of Swarm, is being able to click on these stupid units in the tab here to see what exactly is going on. Few Marines going to be running out across the map trying to pick off these Overlords here, but whoa, what's this? Actually, a couple of Mutilas getting caught away from the block. They're going to be sent uselessly into the space to assault this Milster turret. That's a couple of Mutilas just playing that out lost. Mutilas, and not really all that great in small numbers. And I think 3 in the north went down, and 1 in the south went down. That's just going to bring us down to 4 Mutilas left on the map, and 4 Mutilas really cannot do all that much damage. I can't help but feel that was a little bit of a miss rally by Jayu there. ViperXK actually coming up to be to have a pretty nice army composition here. Just a lot of Marines, a lot of Widow Mines, and Medevacs now getting mixed in. He's going to need to get something a little bit more substantial to add into his army here, because if Banelings come onto the map, he's going to be in a heck of a lot of trouble. And when Ultralists come onto the map, which, yes, we do have that Ultralist Cavern coming down now, when those Ultralists get on the map, Marines just aren't going to be enough, especially once Jayu gets chitinous plating out onto the map, which is that additional Ultralisk armor upgrade. 4th base now coming onto the field for Jayu here, but oh, ViperXK, he has smelled the blood. He has caught onto this, and he's going to be running around the bottom path here, completely out of Jayu's vision. Jayu, I don't think, has any idea that this is coming. There's going to be a few units caught out here. Jayu probably thinks that that is just a missed rally, though. Going to be able to pick up those units without much of a problem. Going to continue on to the natural expansion of ViperXK. In the meantime, this 4th base is going to be under a lot of pressure. Jayu routing down to that southern 3rd base of ViperXK. There are actually quite a few mules and a few SCVs here. That's going to be kind of a bad loss for Viper. But in the meantime, Viper going to be moving on and going to kill an Overlord almost with a Widow Mine. That seems almost a little bit silly there. 4th base going to be going down right there. In the meantime, a 3rd base drop going on for Viper as well. Jayu will probably going to lose this 3rd base. And if he doesn't, he's going to lose pretty much everything that was there at least. And now Jayu in a lot of trouble after looking ahead for so much of this game. ViperXK taking a massive supply lead, 154 over 87. The natural expansion falls. The 4th base has fallen. The 3rd base, well, in a lot of danger, pretty much has fallen. And now Jayu is completely reeling from this damage, trying to pull all of his forces back home. But I just don't know if he's going to be able to mount nearly enough, especially without Banelings on the field. But what is this? We have 5 Ultras on the production tab. And pardon me, there are Banelings on the field, which is going to help him mop this up as best as he can. But he is still in a lot of trouble. 2 Widow Mines on that natural expansion, going to be taking out a lot of the Zerglings there as well. And now the 3rd base has fallen as well. Jayu is relegated just down to his main base, and this is just ghastly oversaturated. There's so many drones here. The mineral line actually very, very low on minerals as well there. And now there's going to be a drop in the main base, and that's going to be able to do at least a little bit of damage. These Ultralists now popping out on the map. That is going to be 5 Ultralists coming out, but this is a massive force out of ViperXK. It is going to take not only excellent play out of Jayu, but a miracle pretty much that ViperXK just completely screws up for Jayu to be able to pull anything out of this. He doesn't even have chitinous plating right now. Just has that +2 armor, which is going to give his Ultras a total of 3 armor. But against the 2/2 attacks of ViperXK, I just can't see it being enough. Jayu trying to pull all the way back into his main base. And once again, there's almost nothing here that Jayu can do. He is pretty much on his last leg. Going to even be picking off a few additional drones there. So many drones have died. 55 drones killed. 61 over 24 harvesters. And I mean, once again, the unit's lost tab. I mean, if you just want to put the topping on the cake, the unit's lost tab really says it all. 10,000 lost by Jayu, only 4,100 by ViperXK, who is now just slowly poking and prodding, up these ramps. Jayu trying to establish a base in the top left-hand corner up in that about 10 o'clock position. But I really feel like a ninja expansion is not going to be able to do that all that much versus, well, pretty much a 2-base Terran here. It's going to be 1 base versus 2 base very, very shortly. And now all these spine crawlers trying to run down the ramp, they're going to actually be soaking up a lot of the damage that the Ultras otherwise would be taking. That's a great move by Jayu, but once again, is it going to be enough? 169 over 64 harvesters. Ultras are making some connection, but there is a fairly good army split here by ViperXK. These Ultras all so low on health. Here come the reinforcements for ViperXK, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the end of the game. Jayu leaves the game, and ViperXK going to be emerging victorious in this game. Thank you for joining me here on the Coffee Cast. I'm glad to finally start getting back into casting. It is so much fun, and I do have that LAN coming up. By the way, MegCon is going to be July 12th through the 14th. There will be an online stream, I believe, as well as a live event in Mason City, Iowa. Go ahead and check out the description below for information about that. And as always, I would love it if you would leave a comment on this video and subscribe if you liked what you heard. Until next time, folks, this is Coffee Break, hailing in from Marcasted, signing off.